What's going on, everybody? This is the Ball Up Top Podcast YouTube show. I'm your host, Mike, and we're working on the Kevin Durant Sweepstakes series. As you all know, Kevin Durant asked to be traded. He's got 4 years left on his deal, just signed that big extension, so he's kind of at Brooklyn's mercy. And we're trying to find out what is the fairest trade in one-on-one deals with the Nets. This episode, we're going to focus on the Atlanta Hawks. And the Atlanta Hawks, I feel like, is really intriguing. For those of you who don't know, we're using fanspo.com, their trade machine. I feel like it's kind of the best trade machine I've seen. Does a really good job of like keeping you within the rules of trading, like as it pertains to draft picks on consecutive years, things of that nature. So yeah, let's pull up the Atlanta Hawks here and the Brooklyn Nets. Now, what makes this trade intriguing is actually the trade that came before when Atlanta traded all those draft picks to get DeJounte Murray. So obviously they're not trading Dre Young and they're not trading Jazon I can't even say his name now. Jazon and they're not even trading Murray. Pardon me. DeJounte Murray. So what is there what kind of deal can be struck? The Nets have not been shy saying they want an all-star player, they want up and coming player, and they want draft picks. Now, the Hawks don't really have an all-star player they can give. They can give what some people would consider borderline all-star players, like John Collins. John Collins is a guy that you could see making an all-star game somewhere in his career. He's probably not a perennial guy, but he's a young player. He's on a good contract. So yeah, like he'd probably have to be the one of the fixture pieces. Another one is DeAndre Hunter. High upside. He's 24 years old. I mean, look. I mean, he was taken he was in 2019. He was taken number 4 overall. It's really it's a good player. It's a good player to add because he could go either way. It's something the Nets can move or the Nets continue to build on. That puts us at 33 million. So where are we at now? Well, the thing that they do have here is they have a lot of young players. So I'm going to go ahead and add a couple other young players like Jalen Johnson and AJ Griffin. Both of them were, middle of the first round picks the last couple of years. But basically, I'm giving Brooklyn, if I'm Atlanta, I'm giving them a crop of good young players, and it's not the all stars that they want, but these are all guys who will be able to come in, contribute, and help them win. But what I feel like is the plus is even though Atlanta traded all those draft picks, they still have a lot more to go. So with Atlanta, like I'm going to, I end up trading the 2023 pick. And I haven't actually run this simulation to see if it works, so the draft picks may trip me up. Then they trade the 2024 Sacramento pick because they're going to want to keep their own pick because they don't have a 2025. And not only that, but if you're the Nets, you're going to feel like that Sacramento pick is a higher valued pick. And then you're going to come down here to 2029 because once again, they have a lot of picks that they could not even begin to touch because of the previous deal with San Antonio. So the $1 million question is, because like I said, I didn't try this one beforehand, is is 4 young players, 2 of which have high potential upsides, and 3 first round picks, is that enough for Brooklyn? I think I've seen worse deals, but yeah, overall that is enough. And what you have in Atlanta is you have DeJounte Murray, Trae Young, and Kevin Durant. And you keep Clint Capella. And I didn't mention Clint, but I really needed to. The reason you keep Clint Capella is because he helps round out your offense. He gives you a big who can rebound and block shots to work with all these perimeter players. Not to mention he's really good with the pick and roll and getting easy lobs. So I feel like even they like this is a team that definitely becomes a contender. I think the Nets will be hesitant to pull off this deal because the Nets don't realize they don't have as much leverage as they think they do, even though Durant doesn't have the leverage either. And if I were Atlanta and I could do this deal, I would. I just don't. I think the Nets view the deal that they want is more attainable than it actually is. We'll have to wait and see. I'm of the opinion the Nets should ride what they got and just see if they can, see if they can pull out a championship this year and let the chips fall where they may, because building contenders is so difficult. But I would love to hear you guys' thoughts and comments. Remember to like, subscribe, follow, do all those things. Our social media, Twitter is at Ball Up Top Pod. On Instagram, it's at Ball Up Top Podcast. We love hearing from you guys. Our regular podcast season is about to kick off here, probably in the next month and a half. Right, but we're gonna do a season preview, move through some of that stuff. We're working on the new studio, working on getting some interviews, working on a lot of stuff. I'm looking forward to seeing how this next basketball season plays out. So until next time, peace.